Welcome to the first episode of How I Use Noesis. In this series, we share how we and our users actually use Noesis to get the most out of it. Noesis isn't about individual features, it's about different reading methodology, one that helps you read better, understand more deeply, and retain more. Let me walk you through a real example. 7 Brief Lessons on Physics by Carlo Rovelli. I really want to learn the first principle thinking in physics for complex problem solving, but I haven't touched physics since high school. Even though the content is beautifully written with dense ideas, I find it quite intimidating. Let me show you how Noesis made it readable. Before I read, I first look at the AI outline. The AI outline offers a much richer picture than the table of content. You can look at the main topic, author's purpose, key questions suggest. You can even click to the relevant paragraph to get a better understanding of the content. You really know the bones before the flesh. And once you have the idea of the structure, you can start to read. And this is where Noesis' immersive reading environment actually shines. You need to understand a term or concept. Noesis pre-processes those terms, so you don't need to open another tab. You can just hover on the term and you get precise and beginner-friendly explanation anchored to the sentence. And if there's anything you don't understand, a phrase or sentence, you can just ask for a further explanation. You never have to leave. It feels like a small thing, but every tab switch increases your cognitive load and break the flow. What if you really want to wrestle with the text and ask follow-up questions? I was reading this line. Einstein predicted that time passes more quickly high up than below, nearer to the earth. And I really want an intuitive and simple analogy. Noesis gave me this. Think of time as a stretched rubber band. Near the earth, the marks for each second get pulled further apart, so it takes more time to get from 1 second to the next, so time slows down. It actually makes a lot of sense. In Noesis, you should never get stuck. I always dreamed about having a visual right within the text, something that I could actually play with and explore a complex idea. Now that dream is real. Noesis detects those moments and generates dynamic, interactive visuals right within the text. Here's one I got about how the understanding of space evolved. Newton saw space as just an empty container. Maxwell filled it with vibrating fields. Einstein curved it around matter. 3 ideas building on each other as an interactive diagram that I could explore. The progression just clicked in a way that reading alone couldn't do. Once I understand the concept, I want to make sure I actually keep it. You don't have to do any of the manual work. No copying text, no writing notes yourself. You can just save any concept directly within the conversation with your companion. And it becomes a structured card in your brain, so nothing I learned disappeared. Next time you read something more advanced, you can always go back and review those foundational concepts. That's how I read 7 Brief Lessons on Physics in Noesis, and hope it gives you a pretty good picture of how the methodology works for any dense, ambitious content. And thank you for watching.